Welcome to The Consult Before the Cut, your go-to podcast for all things anti-aging, aesthetics, and plastic surgery. I'm Dr. Jonathan Weiler, a board-certified plastic surgeon with over 15 years of experience.
I am Taylor Besh, physician's assistant and expert injector at Weiler Plastic Surgery.
And I'm Brittany DeSherry, nurse and COO over at Rejuvime Medical. Each week, we'll dive deep into the latest trends, expert insights, and real stories from the world of beauty and wellness. So grab a seat at the consult room and let's discover the secrets of timeless beauty together. Hey everyone, welcome to the Consult Before the Cut podcast. We are back at it. We would like to thank Rejuvime Medical, the biggest anti-aging GLP-1 HRT. You could say biggest, largest. It's like
He's the biggest,
it's
the largest.
Biggest, it's the largest.
Louisiana's largest.
Age-defying clinic. We at Rejuvime Medical do hormone replacement therapy, GLP-1 therapy, peptides, all that stuff to keep you going, keep you feeling young. And then, of course, Weiler Plastic Surgery Group, the largest plastic surgery group in Louisiana with 5 different locations. Five
surgeons.
5 surgeons.
Brett
Over
had a rough night
10. I had a night last night. Over 10 locations,
Yep,
huh?
over 10 locations,
5 surgeons.
Yep, and
An amazing group of expert injectors and estheticians for that glow from nose to toes.
Yep.
So thank y'all so much for our sponsorship. And we are going to get into it today.
Okay, so what did you do last night, sister?
I went on a school night. I went to a concert.
Which is
Josh
crazy.
and I went to a concert at the Sanger last night. But like we went into New Orleans, we went over to the Sazerac bar, and then we had
fun.
dinner at Domenico right there in the Roosevelt. And then we went and saw Vampire Weekend.
And that is?
It's like what
kind of music is
like
that?
it's like an alternative like rock
Like a Fish
band.
type thing?
It's like
Like a
really
jam
chill.
band?
Yeah, like a jam band. It's like really chill
Okay.
music.
And intimate being in the singer. That's
I
fun.
love the
Yeah.
I love a concert in the Sanger. It's
Yeah,
so
that's
fun.
awesome.
John Legend's coming to the Sanger.
Oh, really?
In a couple weeks.
And drove back last night,
Yes.
and bam, here you are.
And here we are.
You're a rock star,
That
girl.
1:30 a.m. I got in. I
I
got
don't
it, and I
think
was
I
like,
I know. Too old.
I was like, I'm too old. Don't worry. Between the podcast and my next meeting, find me sleeping on my floor in my office just with a little blanket.
You're here. Got your coffee.
I did it.
Ready
I got
to
my
roll.
coffee. I'm ready to roll. Taylor, you, ma'am, have a big weekend
Have
coming
a
up.
big weekend. It's going to be so much fun. Dr. Weiler has pushed me for years to do this and was asked this year. We are going to represent Weiler Plastic Surgery at
You're going to represent yourself,
the
too.
Best Dressed
I was about to say.
Ball.
Weiler Plastic Surgery's not best dressed. Taylor Besh is
Wow.
best dressed.
Way out of my comfort zone.
We're going to have to splice in a picture of her in her amazing yellow gown, guys. We had a life-size
I know.
image. Britt overslept, didn't get it.
Man, if I could have gotten it, it'd have been great.
You can find it at
But wait.
Phil's Oyster Bar in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh, that's across the street from the house. I could have just gotten it.
Glad you
Wait,
didn't
that's where your
know.
full-size cutout is, too?
Uh-huh.
How many do you have?
Was moved. No, it moved from Weiler Plastic Surgery. It has to rotate around
really?
Baton Rouge to be seen.
Oh, how many places is it?
Yeah, how many places did it go?
Only 4. It's supposed to be like 12.
That's pretty good, though, for. You have little mini ones, too.
Oh, yeah.
Wait. I feel like I saw one over
Emerald Lane.
Yes, at Emerald
Uh-huh.
Lane because I went and picked up a gift.
Yeah, girl.
And you are sort of,
Wait,
I'm not going to.
your presence in the South Downs is
Oh,
very.
yeah.
It is. Her presence on that picture, too, is pretty amazing. Taylor, you are like
in your yellow dress.
That yellow dress is.
Can
So
you
fun.
tell us anything about the dress that you're wearing on Saturday?
It's like Bam Orange.
Is
Wait,
it
it's not the
really?
same- It's not the same dress?
No.
Really?
No.
Bam Orange.
Taylor had to get 14 different dresses for this event.
Yeah.
Wait, it's Bam Orange?
What's BAM?
Like,
what does that
just
mean?
Bright,
Oh, bright.
bright.
Okay. In your face?
bright orange.
I could
And
never wear
I
orange.
found I am not a dancer. I'm not so the music that I found out that I'm walking to,
Oh, you don't get to pick it?
well, my partner probably picked it.
Who are you walking with?
One of them is INDEPENT.
Oh, yes. A little boosty.
A little boosty.
A little boosty.
So I need a Xanax. So let's continue and carry on. I don't want to talk about that.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Wait, who are you
It's going
walking
to be
with?
fun. Brandon Holly.
Okay. This
Relief windows.
Yeah. This is going to be
And
so
he's
good.
extra. He is going to like
a character,
rule
yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
You know, so I'll be fine.
You have
In
the
your
next,
Bam
you have the next
orange.
level.
Yeah, I will be next level very, at that point.
I
You have
can't
a-
wait to see this Bam orange.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
it's
feel
gonna
like
be fun.
Bam orange would be in my color
No,
profile.
I think Taylor can wear very bright colors. Most
Yeah,
people
I
can.
think colors,
look really good.
color assessment. Have y'all, what is it called?
No.
We're gonna have to do a podcast about that because it's been
what?
around forever.
Well, I bet we could get her on the podcast.
Color analysis.
Color
Yes,
analysis.
that's something we should do.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that would be
Yeah,
fun.
we'll get her
and
on.
then,
Grace, let's do that.
and then we could do it live.
But you know what's
on-
funny is that like it's hot now, or was I think it still is hot. My wife talks about her mom having in the 70s people over and doing color analysis.
Are you
Yes.
serious?
Yeah, I mean it's been going on forever. It was like I wasn't Mary Kay, but it was like they would have the Tupperware parties, back in the day.
Oh,
They would have a
yes.
color analysis.
Oh, wow.
party.
I did not
I-
realize it
The
had been
color
around.
analysis thing is wild.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we need to get
it's
her on.
wild.
I have a girl too, Grace, that I know. Let's talk about it.
But you probably have a
Coming
very. I
soon.
would love to have because
I bet you're like a summer. I bet
Yeah.
you're like a
Yeah,
summer
like bright
color.
colors.
I don't
right?
feel like I'm a bright color. I feel like I'm
No.
autumn.
You're a fall.
because
I'm
you're
an
kind of
autumn.
fair, so you're more difficult. You're a more difficult color palette.
What color palette do you have?
I'm more towards Taylor. Taylor has an amazing
What are you? What?
I don't know. I'm spring. I don't know what I am. I don't know. What
You
I
could
am.
be a sultry winter.
I like that blue on. Like that blue
Yeah.
for you.
Like a darker blue?
Yeah, I look good in darker color. You look
Yeah.
good very, very bright. I'll be a springer on. That'd be cool.
I know.
I'm very excited to see
Bring
it.
her on.
That's okay.
Let's dive in, guys.
All right, and that's enough for our rant today on all kinds of things. Okay, we're talking about implant exchanges today, which I remember many, many, many moons ago. There was an episode that we did that I'm pretty sure my face like melted off when you were talking about like deflating
Deflating
implants
yes.
and stuff like that. When we were talking about the I don't even remember what we were talking about, but I remember that.
Probably a year ago. Yeah. So we were talking about, implants, they can be a lifetime device, especially the ones being made now. But a lot of implants end up with issues or malpositions or problems, giving birth, changes the appearance of your chest. So a lot of what I do is I would classify it as two things. One is fix sort of side effects of the natural aging process, right?
Okay.
As you age, right? Your body changes. And number two, some of it's fixing other people's problems too.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, what you were talking about is if a woman comes in with a saline implant, right? And they're still in the market, but I haven't done a saline implant in probably 2 or 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
You think they kind of like phased out now?
Well,
Okay.
it's just
I feel like y'all are jumping ahead. I like you
I
to
know,
talk about
sorry.
the evolution of implants. I
Okay.
didn't talk about saline implants.
I'll talk about saline implants or
No, talk about the evolution. Like why we used to do silicone a long
Like the
time
Wild
ago.
West
Oh,
of
okay.
implants.
Then went to. I love that how you kind of give that.
okay
Timeline.
So how we so originally silicone implants was the bomb, right? In the 60s.
Yeah.
Was developed in
In
Texas.
the Wild West, Texas.
Yep, Wild West, Texas, and there was really no FDA approval. There was, it was individual small companies. People would start and they'd be creating their own implants. I mean, it was really crazy what they were putting in the body. They were covering with polyurethane. It was all kind of crazy stuff. So Dow Chemical Company had an implant that had a propensity the shell would dissolve or almost crystallize. And this is what you hear about the Dow implants of the 80s and 90s, right? And so thousands of these implants were put in. There was a major lawsuit. And so silicone implants got a very bad name, right? And so there was a switch from silicone to saline. And it's a little bit of a misnomer, right? I always say this because saline is a silicone bag filled with salt water. So the same amount of silicone touches your body with either implant. So the problem wasn't the silicone. The problem was the company or the way it was being structured. It was a very flimsy shell, or the shell was almost designed to dissolve away. You'd end up with this sort of free floating silicone in your body. So and not necessarily a horrible thing, but around the breast, you could get firmness, lumps and bumps.
That rippling.
That's more to saline.
Right?
That's more to saline. So
we're talking about this. Sorry,
silicone, right? And so what happened? Yeah, in the 90s, they went from all of a sudden, all right, no more silicone, and we're going to do saline implants. And so saline implants came out, and saline implants, most doctors would fill them like a tight balloon, like you actually overfill them, so they're almost close to popping. Like you stretch them, because if you don't fill them all the way up, they're like a water like a water bed,
That's
right?
what you're talking about, the rippling.
Yeah, that rippling in the waterbed. Wait, did y'all like have to fill them up?
Oh yeah.
Like this wasn't like a pre-sized.
They come just like I don't know. Probably nobody on this thing's ever filled the waterbed. So it's like a balloon.
Oh no,
you filled the waterbed?
I had a waterbed.
Did you really?
I was gonna say, mom,
I had a waterbed.
I was like, my mom had a waterbed back in the 80s.
Yeah. So they
I remember I was a little kid.
They come deflated, and you actually put them in the body, and you plug this tube in them. Basically, it pops in, and you make your incision. You make your little cavity. You put them in there, and then you have a little syringe pump, and you pump them up.
Oh.
Yeah. And then they're all
no,
nice
but
and
you
full.
make them. You have to make them so tight. That's why they're so hard.
That's
and
why they're so hard.
balls.
So when you squeeze a woman's breast that has a saline implant in there, it's like a very tight balloon. It's like a very overfilled mylar balloon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you squeeze it, and it actually just moves. It displaces. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you squeeze it goes up, and you let go, and it goes back down. So they're not soft. Now they're not bad, but they do have a tendency to ripple a lot, to be seen, be very fake looking, because they're just this big ball in your chest. They're not, conforming to your tissues. So that was all that was available up until 2008 commercially. And then in 2008, silicone came back on the market, which was great. It was slowly kind of brought back. Obviously, there was a lot of fear, right? And so silicone got brought back on the market, and we've had episodes about Motiva, right?
Yes.
So now there's generation 6. There's been 6 sort of boom silicone implants since 2008. And so now, hey, we're 2025, we're rolling in 2026, we got generation 6 implants, but we still have ladies out there with saline implants, right? Because they can last for a long time. I typically tell ladies 15 years, give or take 5 or 10 years. So, and I tell ladies all the time, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
Some ladies get a very nice result with a saline implant. So saline implants, if you come in and you want them exchanged, and let's say they were put back in 1997, right? And you've lost all of your records. Your surgeon's no longer in practice, right? And you don't know what's in there.
Yeah,
right?
you don't know how many cc's there are.
Yeah.
Right? So, Dr. Weiler can guesstimate, and I'm pretty good at guesstimating, but we want to know exactly what's in there. And also, we want to give you the best results. So oftentimes, by removing that saline, it takes the weight off of your breast tissues. And those, and the tissues contract around it. So and Taylor does a lot of this, is we'll put a little needle in there. We actually pull the fluid out.
It's very easy. It's very intimidating and scary because you are deflating that bag, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very tiny little incision on the outer part of the breast, numb it with lidocaine. So it's one little pinch. That's all you feel. And then remove all of the saline from the breast. But that nice large breast that was filled is shriveled up. And I always say, don't look right now, look in a couple of days, because the tissue will truly contract back, and it gives him a better canvas of what he's trying
of what your natural body.
So I want to go back to that. I think it'd be a fun game to just put a whole bunch of different implants on the screen and then make you guess the cc's.
Oh, that would be a game.
Yeah.
And make you guess the cc's. That would be...
I'll probably be pretty good.
Yeah, he would.
That's what I'm saying. I think it'd be funny to be all right,
it would be kind of funny. It'd be a good idea.
So, and then the way that it just contracts back, like you said, for a better canvas to look.
Yeah, it does. And it's pretty amazing. Typically it takes around 2 weeks. I tell ladies to have the maximum sort of contractual results. So we want it done in about 10 to 14 days before your surgery. And it works pretty well. And now, so what happened is back in the day, because of the rippling and the issues. So most people ended up putting saline implants, which are smooth. Well, that's at some point they were textured, but most people ended up putting smooth saline implants below the muscle. So we've talked about this before, and you can have a textured implant or you can have a smooth implant, right? And we've gone back and forth over the last 50 years between textured and smooth. And textured implants were used at first. I have seen textured implants, but it's literally like a rock. because it adheses to your tissue.
Yeah.
And it does not move, right? And so that was a bad idea. They learned that very quickly.
Yeah.
And so they went from textured saline to smooth saline. So smooth is meant to roll around under the body and move naturally. So when you squeeze the breast, the saline wouldn't squeeze, but it would move, and it felt soft. And so
softer,
because it was moving. And so we went from that back into silicone, and then silicone came out, and the original silicones were smooth because we had smooth saline. And then somebody got the bright idea again and was like, oh, remember these textured implants that we were using back in the day, 20 years ago? Some of them work great. So how about we texture silicone implants? All right. And so that came out 2010. And then, oh, hey, women want more natural appearance. Let's teardrop them and texture them.
I mean, the evolution is really crazy.
It's crazy. So they had teardrop textured implants. And those were the original, what people referred to as gummy bears. And that was like 2010.
Oh, yes. I remember
the gummy bear. Right? So the gummy bear was a teardrop textured implant. Well, they realized over the years that maybe the texturing was not the best idea again. And so the texturing went away and then the smooth came back. And then somebody said a few years ago, well, why do we think the texturing was bad? Because there was differences between the depth of textures. Like some people were really textured, like it's like mountains or hills. Like you could be really hilly, you can be really mountainous, right? And they learned that there is a perfect equilibrium between highly textured and smooth that's now called smooth silk. And that's where we're at today with my bromance with Motiva.
With your boo.
With my boo.
With your Motiva boo.
My Motiva boo.
Yes. Which is wild because that day I learned it, and you can, because or maybe it was before that, like we were playing with the Motiva implants, and it's like a little.
It's called a smooth silk, so it's not quite smooth.
Yeah.
It's not quite textured. It's 4 millimeter of slight texturing. And there was some very, very diligent research that came out of the UK. An excellent researcher that said this is the least inflammatory reaction that you can get. It's actually better than smooth.
Because it's the chain link fence.
Oh no, it's something different. The chain link fence is a support structure.
Oh, that was the mesh.
That's the mesh.
See, I'm getting it. Remember, I was like,
getting all my little stories.
You're remembering his little analogies.
I know. I'm trying to keep up.
Okay, so your typical person that you see coming in for an implant exchange, what does that look like? Is it majority old saline implants? Is it?
I'd say, when I originally started, obviously, almost 17 years ago, yes, that was the majority of people coming in were it was a saline implant, whether it was smooth or textured. And it was always the Wild West. You honestly never knew what was coming out 17 years ago, because those are patients from the 80s and 90s where there was not much regulation and you get all kind of crazy
What's
stuff.
the wildest thing that you've ever removed?
I've had a butt implant from South America put in someone's chest that I removed. Yeah. Oh yeah. Crazy. Yeah. Oh yeah. Which is like a solid block.
Of silicone.
A silicone. Oh yeah.
I'm just thinking
because people, I have had quite a few patients that come out all right. So we'll get off topic here. Travel surgery, right, is a big deal, right? People like to travel because it's cheaper. And there are good surgeons all around the world, right? But the problem is that very few countries have the regulation that the United States does on surgery. So literally you'd have people come back in and see me and say, yeah, I literally she was a dentist. She was from Venezuela. She went back to Venezuela to have her surgeries. And she woke up and she was going down there for butt implants. And she woke up with butt implants and breast implants. And the surgeon was like, oh, you look so beautiful on the table. I put in the silicone butt implants into your chest too.
Oh my God, I would die.
Yeah. And then she was like, okay. Because you don't have.
Yeah, what do you do?
What do you do? You're in Venezuela. There's no legal recourse. It's crazy. So yeah, you have to be very, very careful with travel.
Right.
I would
with surgical travel. And that's one of the reasons. I mean, it's your body. It's like, I always say, it's like buying a good pair of glasses or shoes. You wear them every day. You're with your body 24/7. So investigate
price
your surgeon.
Per wear.
Yeah.
Price per wear.
You're wearing it every single day.
Every day. Oh my God. I would.
People like Taylor's probably spent a good amount of money on the dresses for the weekend, right?
Yes.
Wear them once, right?
Yes,
Good pictures. You're going to wear your body every single minute of every
Correct.
single day. So be careful what you do. So yeah, so it's a little bit crazy out there. So
It is.
but yeah, so I think originally when I started, it was mostly saline or all kind of crazy stuff. And now it's gone into not quite, we don't see quite as many saline implants coming in the doors. We still do see it because I think we're still dealing with some like 2010 to 2015. But it's more, some of it is old textured implants that have to be removed. Some of it is just malpositions of aging, having a couple of kids, body changes. Some ladies get a little bit, I call it breast envy when they're young. They want big giant boobs, like gigantic breasts, and then they get a little mature, and then they go, I want to be a little bit more, conservative. Some of it's malposition or problems from other surgeries. Because breasts change a lot.
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
Breasts change a lot.
And I do feel like there's an older demographic that they still look great, feel great, but they're like, I don't want to have surgery when I'm 75.
Correct.
So they're doing
it. It's like proactively.
They're doing it in their mid 60s, early 60s. They still look fantastic. Like Taylor said, they're in excellent shape. And they're kind of saying, hey, I want to be this to be the last.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be morbid. I want to die with these kind of deal.
Yeah.
And they're still very attractive ladies. They still have a healthy marriage life. They're traveling. They're enjoying the empty nesters kind of thing. And they're like, hey, I want to get things straight and I want to move on. So I do a lot of those patients too. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, we used to see years back, they would come in and would have a flat chest on one side.
Oh yeah.
Because it was just like like a ruptured saline implant. Yep. But that has been
few and far between.
Very, very
I mean, I used to get calls, like we'd get an emergency text that, the answering service that so-and-so has not a patient of mine, but Linda Robinson has breast deflated this morning and she's panicked and has to have surgery today.
I feel like I would panic if one of my boobs had busted. But now, I mean, like we said, those implants that you're using now, I mean, I've seen all the videos all over Instagram, like running over the implants and all that kind of stuff with car, like the durability of them.
Yeah, the durability of implants is getting better and better and better. And like we said, we had Motiva on here. They claim a 0.5% rupture rate. I used to use a lot of Allergan. I still do. I was visited by my rep. My rupture rate is less than 1%.
Look at you.
Implants. Yep. Because I just, the problem is, I think as a surgeon is it's like, I do a ton of implants, right? But you don't see the happy patient, right? Or you don't see the non-problem patient. Is you just see the ones that have a problem or ruptured. And I probably get, maybe, I used to be 1 or 2 a year, and now maybe I'm getting like 3 to 4 a year. But that's because I've done thousands of implants.
I think it's a number.
Yeah, it's a number game.
It's a number game. The more you do, the more chance
the more you do, the more chances there's going to be an issue.
So obviously you were saying like with saline, you'd be able to pull the saline out, then you could just pull that breast implant out, put another one
and
in.
you do not have to deflate a saline implant. I wanted to add that to our previous conversation. It's not a requirement. It's just a recommendation.
Really
cool. Yes.
Yeah, it's a wish of ours sometimes.
So how do you pull out the silicone implant?
Well, talk us through
surgery,
this.
Yeah, well, that's what
the surgery.
I figured that.
Procedural wise, what do
how do you get in there
do?
and grab it and pull it out?
Oh, okay. So, all right. So 99% of implants that we were putting in were below the muscle, whether they're saline or silicone. So an older implant, whatever position it's in, you go in, you usually use the previous incision. Some people used to use an incision in the areola. We have gotten away from that for 2 reasons. One, it can severely injure or cause nerve issues with the nipple and areola, so we want to stay away from that. 2 is actually 3 issues. It can cause some depressive scarring. So if you go through it again, it can actually push in and you get this dent in your breast.
Yeah.
And then 3, when you use an areola incision, you're actually going through the breast tissue. And breast tissue is open to the air because we have ducts in our breasts, right, for milk. And so there's bacteria living in there. And so we think some infections come because we're going through the breast tissue. So most surgeons that know what they're doing have gotten away from that. And we go to an incision underneath and we actually go behind the breast tissue the whole time. So we're not even going into it. So we go through the previous incision. If there was one up here in the areola, we go down below, make a small little 3 to 4 centimeter incision. We go in, we find the implant. If it's a saline implant, we'll usually pull the saline out and it just easily comes out, right? If it's an intact silicone implant, I'm pretty skilled. I can get in there with a finger, wrap
You
it
have to
around
be
my
strong.
Yeah,
A plastic
wrap it
surgeon
around my
has to be-
finger and pop it out.
Does it?
It's kind of crazy. You
Did
squeeze the
say
breast.
wrap
and,
it around your finger.
Yeah, it
It's
takes
truly-
a little talent.
it
It's a little
does.
talent.
And you just
Pop it out. There are devices like a suction device. One of my female counterparts use because then quite have the finger strength maybe I have, and you can actually suck it out through suctioning. And then if it's ruptured, it can get a little bit messier. Sometimes we'll try to get the entire implant out with the scar tissue around it. If it doesn't have a lot of scar tissue around it, all implants have scar tissue, but didn't have a lot of scar tissue. Go in there, and the newer implants clean out really well if they're ruptured. I mean, they're pretty cohesive, so they come out in one big.
and they just kind of stay together, even
Kind
if
of
it's
stay
ruptured,
together,
it's
and then you go in and you make sure everything's out. You clean it out, visualize it, you wash everything out, right? And so that's how you get them out.
just stops.
But it's a little bit of it is a acquired skill.
because you're working with a very
That's
small
what he says. 3
incision.
to 4
Right.
centimeters.
And so-
all I can say.
But they will compress really well.
Really,
too.
and the new ones compress really well because so back in the day, now these days most of us use a funnel to get an implant in, right? So we put that funnel into the incision, put it in, we pop it through, right? But back in the day, you would have to push it through.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And it looks a whole lot harder than it is. I mean, it
looks-
is.
yes.
It is. It's like getting, and I know this sounds crazy, but it's like getting an oyster through a keyhole. Like I used to get hand cramps because you have to, especially if you get a really big one, because you want to make that incision as small as possible. And you got to get that thing in there.
But then whenever it pops in, it's like,
Yeah, and just like you get it to a point and you push it and it just like slips in.
An oyster
So
through
good.
a keyhole.
Oyster through a keyhole is the
That's
best way to-
hilarious.
Yeah, and some of those oysters, some women want some big oysters.
That's what it is, the big oysters.
So you got to get it in there.
Big Gulf oysters. Pop.
Yep.
I love that. Pop.
But so there's all kind of things that can go on, and a lot of surgeons won't do revisionary breast surgery because it's more difficult. And I do think that revisionary breast surgery, and this is called from below to above, right? This little podcast, because I think it's hard because as you age, a lot of people, and I think this all the time as a surgeon, you kind of remember your body as an 18-year-old. Like I feel like we're all stuck at 18, and I tell this to my wife all the time. It's like I think as you age, like you still see your partner when you met them. Does that make sense? Like even if they gain 50 pounds, or but like not that my wife has gained 50 pounds, but
Elizabeth's hot.
No, she's hot, but
That's it. She's such a tall drink of water.
Yes.
she is
For
is.
another episode.
For another episode. But I think you always visualize that, so you always see yourself kind of as your younger self, and so as a woman ages, breast position, because I think a lot of ladies will look at, hey, I'm going to the surgeon. I think I'm going to have this round orb on my perfect body again. When they've had 5 kids, they've gained 80 pounds and lost 80 pounds, and their skin's all over and they breastfed. So it's tough. So it is a tough revisionary breast surgery is a tough. It's a tough gig, to be honest with you, and I enjoy it. I think I'm pretty patient, and you have to kind of work through some issues with some people, but I think you can get a really good result. And the newer implants and the new technology has given us a lot of availability to do some improvements with it.
Are you having to use, speaking of my chain link fence, when you're doing any of these breast revision surgeries, are they requiring any like the slings?
Yeah,
or
the internal
anything
lifts,
like that?
the internal bras. Yeah. So depending on
From like you said, from like the big, if like going small and stuff, like how does?
Yeah. So I tell ladies it's you have to think of your chest as 2 different things. So you can have an implant malposition. So you have your implants put in, and your body could not support it, so they fell down. Or if they were below the muscle and you've got strong muscles, they pushed them out, right? Or you don't like the muscle movement and the implants moving around. So you can have an implant position problem, number one, or you can have a breast position problem. So
or you can have a contracture. So we need to touch on that too in a minute. Yeah.
And so what can happen is your implants can be perfect position, but you've gained weight, lost weight, had kids, have some crappy breast tissue, and your age and your breast have just fallen down. So that's a breast problem, right? And then you can have an implant malposition problem. And then like Taylor said, you can have a breast implant problem, not a position of like your implant could be fine, but it's in the wrong position. But you can have a problem with your implant, which means either a rupture of your implant, which is relatively rare. You can have a capsular contracture of your implant, which is scar tissue around your implant, which made it firm, which is more common. but still not that common. Or you can have a problem with your implant size as you've gotten older, whether it being too big or too small. And I tell ladies, I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to make you happy.
So, if it fits with your body and it's medically safe.
If you want my advice, I always say that's something different, right? I'll tell you. I have very distinct, beliefs with it. But really, to me, breast surgery is beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And I want to make you happy. If it's safe and I can do it, I'm going to do it for you.
Well, yeah, because they're not doing it for you.
You were leading to the internal sling.
Oh, yeah.
The slings.
Yeah, because I was wondering, is that required?
No, it's not always required. So if you have an implant, and we're going to have a young lady we're going to bring on in just a minute, who had an implant malposition problem, which means that young woman, gorgeous lady, breast tissue's great, skin's great, but the problem is the implants just had some weight to them. Whether it was either just the natural evolution, the type of implant, or the position it was put in, it kind of fell too low, right? And this particular lady was unhappy with the position of the implants. So that is where you have to go in and get a new position of the implant. And with these newer implants called Motiva, we're putting them back above the muscle. So originally, which is weird, we would put things above the muscle in the 60s. And then all of a sudden, this guy, Scott Spears, came out and called it this neo-subpectoral plane, which is this term that we were now putting those below the muscle, right? And that's when the whole below the muscle started. And what's interesting is I went and when Motiva came out, I went and studied with one of his, I'll call him protege, one of the guys that Scott Spears is now dead, but he trained somebody. And now we're going.
Oh, I didn't realize that he trained with him.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Yeah, it's a whole weird thing. Yeah. And so we're going, I don't know whether he's going to name it the suprapectoral mentor. Anyway, but so if you can find a new position for the implant, that's really nice, because it's really difficult in the old position to correct it. So we're going back into a fresh tissue plane. So we're making a new area.
That was going to be my question. Like, does it go back into the same spot, or like, how do you
So ideally these days, because of these newer implants, it's allowing us to go into a new spot. We can go back into the old spot if we need to. And then we use that sling or that internal bra. And we'll talk about that with Kim when she comes on. And we use that bra, that internal sling, we wrap it around the implant and we sew it to your internal portions of your body, which is more like ribs and deeper tissues that can support it more than your skin and your breast tissue. And we hold that implant into a good position, right? And you use the chain link fence, right? So I call almost all of these substances are like chain link fences. Which I mean by that is, think of it like a chain link fence. Your body's like ivy, right? Your body grows into that fence. And depending on the fence that we use, that fence will disappear anywhere between 6 months to 2 to 3 years. And then it's just replaced with your body's natural tissue.
Yeah, because the concrete wall, the ivy has trouble growing up the concrete wall.
You're exactly right.
And that's what it would have to be, a chain link fence.
It's got to be a chain link fence.
So I remember these.
Yeah, you're smart. You can
learn,
I
remember these. I'm getting there.
Even with all the partying going on.
Even with going out on a school night. No. So what is it? Is it different? Is it for people that are getting these implant exchanges from their first surgery? Do they find it to be easier to do it again rather than their first? Do you know what I mean?
So it is. We're not structuring the muscles, and we'll talk to Kim about that. So we did these days a lot of times I'm going back above the muscle. I'm still going back below the muscle. But yeah, the original surgery is the big painful one because we're stretching those muscles. We're not doing as much below the muscle these days. So revisionary surgery, I tell ladies, is quicker recovery, much less painful. But you do have to be a little bit more delicate. And what I mean by that is adhering to your rules of, hey, wear your bra 24/7.
Yeah.
Refrain from heavy impact exercise, because we want your tissues to heal. And pretty much you're maximally healed somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks.
Okay.
And so just being really delicate your first 6 to 8 weeks is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's less painful, but more tedious.
More tedious.
Yeah.
More tedious.
On the recovery to perfect that result, because it's a more complicated procedure than the first. Usually. It's not like just popping out an implant and putting one right back in. Usually requires a little bit more.
A lot of I did one yesterday. I think I did 3 yesterday. Whew, but anyway, I did one yesterday morning. That was, it was tough. One implant was like literally in the armpit, way out here. And then the other one was way up here.
Wow.
And So, take that out, take all the scar tissue out, and then you got to close this down, then you got to get back above.
Yeah.
And then you got to
Wow.
go. So it's a lot to do. It's not, and I do think, some ladies can get a little bit of sticker shock. It is a longer procedure. It's not a more painful procedure.
Yeah.
I did do a lift with them yesterday. But getting that implant in the proper position and then really being,
Well, I feel like it's 2 surgeries. You know what I mean? Even though
It
it's
is.
not. Like, I feel like, you're under at one point, but
Yep.
it's like first you got to do one,
Yep.
complete
Yeah.
You're
that.
exactly right.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, let's go ahead and
you
start
got to
the
remove
next
what's
step.
there,
Yeah.
and then
Clean all that
clean it all
up,
out,
get
and then
everything
put it back
together.
together so it heals.
Yeah.
And then you got to find the new position to
Yeah.
get it in and
Yeah.
secure the position. Yeah, so you're absolutely right. It is too. But look, let's do this. Let's bring
Yeah.
Kim on.
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
Yes, we have a patient who's going to talk to us about her experience with her exchange, which I'm really excited to hear. So hang tight, and we'll be right back with her in just a minute.
I'm Ashley Shelley. I'm from Baton Rouge, and I've had Sculptra, Botox, and aesthetic procedures at Weiler. I realized that it was time to start taking care of my skin. There were certain concerns that I had, loss of volume in my face and the texture. I knew that I needed to do something about it. Sculptra has boosted my self-esteem and increased my confidence in my skin. I'm 40 years old, and my skin has never looked better than it does now.
My name is Josh Hughes. I'm 43. I'm currently on the HRT program. I just started feeling the effects of getting older, being tired all the time, not motivated, sore when I would do physical activity, and just needed a change. I've been on the HRT program for around 3 years. Within the first month, I completely noticed a huge difference in my mood and energy. The weight that I had gained started to drop off rapidly. It just gave me a new lease on life. It made me feel like I was in my 20s again.
All right, welcome back. We have a patient with us today. Kim, thank you so much for joining
Thanks
us.
for having me.
All right, Kate. All right, tell us a little bit about yourself, because we kind of know what we're gonna talk about,
Yeah.
the implant exchanges and stuff. But kind of tell us a little bit about you.
I am born and raised in Baton Rouge, the youngest of 11 kids, and
Which
Can
you don't
y'all?
hear
Can
very
y'all?
often anymore.
You heard that right.
11.
Yes.
11 kids.
yes, a lot of
And
a lot
she's
of
the baby.
children.
She's
I
spoiled
am.
rotten.
I am.
Oh my gosh. I am
gonna
just
lie.
like, I am shocked. What's like the age range there?
I think my oldest is 50 and I'm 27.
23 years, right? Is that right? 50 to 20, is that right? 50 to 4, yeah. No, 23, so 17-year difference, right?
Yes.
I don't
No.
know.
50?
No. 50 to
20.
27.
27.
13.
What is
Next.
wrong with y'all? I am worried about being on this podcast. It is 23 years.
So I'm not good at math.
I don't know. I don't do math.
I can't either.
50
I have a calculator.
minus
13 years, 23 years.
23 years.
Got it right the first time. You'd be good.
Wow.
20
is
years
amazing.
of childbearing.
A lot of children.
I am like, I'm sitting here immediately. I'm like, oh, Thanksgiving.
That's a whole
What is
different
that
podcast.
like?
I know, huh?
Like, what is
That's so fun.
Thanksgiving
Yeah.
like? What is Christmas like? Like,
You have to
just-
build a wing to your house to host Thanksgiving.
Basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Kind of come in shifts. You have to plan it out,
That's
especially with grandkids and great grandkids. It's a lot.
That's wild.
You know what's wild? And this is we're totally off topic. So I grew up with a family that they had 10 kids, okay? And each one of those 10 kids has had 8 or above.
You're kidding me.
Oh,
Kids.
wow.
And then because my daughter, I just picked her up and she's like, yeah, so-and-so, I'm not gonna say the last name, was at the sleepover last night. I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, you know that she has like,
Oh my gosh.
and she was like, well, interesting fact, all of the 10 kids have above 8 kids. So can you imagine that?
That's amazing.
no.
That's 100 and
What?
something
No,
direct.
I can't.
Descendant. It's out of New Orleans. It's crazy.
I was going to say, do they still live in New Orleans?
No, they spread out.
Oh, wow.
I've never been to New Orleans before.
I am.
But yeah, it's fascinating. We'll have to talk. We'll have
Okay,
to get
that's like
about
my
it.
dream.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
To
Anyway.
have 8 kids.
I mean, that's so
No, to have
fun.
10 kids and your 10 kids have 8 or above kids each.
Y'all, that's
Okay.
like a big
Yeah.
happy family. Oh,
Like
love it.
huge.
Huge.
That's like
It's the
that's
biggest.
like 2
It's the
Greyhound
biggest.
buses to move that.
Your
family.
immediate-
Your immediate
I am just.
grandkids.
Okay, first of all,
It's
your
100
mother is a saint.
She-
I
Yeah.
just, Second grade homework is killing me. Could
Oh,
you
I know.
imagine doing
No.
kindergarten,
It's-
first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth
It's
grade?
self-sufficient at that point, right?
Okay,
Like,
I
They
mean,
raised
she
you to a big
homeschooled
family.
us for a long time as well.
What?
So she really did the most.
wait, say that again? What?
She homeschooled us for a while as well.
Look at Brittany's face.
That's crazy.
Look at your face.
That's
He was like,
crazy. Like my mom, I come from a family of 5, and my mom forgot 10 years of her life there. Like, she'll get us confused. I'm like, no, Mom, that was my brother. That was my brother. No, like, she doesn't have any. My wife is like, your mom? It's like, no, like, it was like a free for all.
it was wild.
It gets wild.
I love that
It gets wild when you got a bunch of kids.
Oh,
right?
yeah. You just take care of each
Yeah,
other.
you take care of each other, right?
I
Making sure.
feel-
Yeah.
if
It's a whole different. It's a whole
my
different than having
grandmother
2.
starts like at the top, and she's like, J, K, Alec, blah. She's like, Brittany. And I'm like, yep, there it is. Hey, I knew you were going to get there. But
It's
I
crazy.
just can't. That's wild.
Yes.
It's got to be the coolest thing, though.
Yeah.
So fun.
I mean, that is.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
Sorry.
back on
That
topic.
is-
Sorry.
yeah, Okay.
No, don't apologize.
So
you can't,
tell
can't
us.
just say something like that.
Obviously, we're talking about your breast revision that you
Right.
had,
Yes.
but bring us back to years back. How long ago did you have surgery? What was the reason you did your surgery? Kind of give us a little history there.
Yeah, so I got my original set of implants when I was 19. I had always wanted to have something that felt like it looked like a middle school boy. I was unhappy with my chest, so it's like, let me do something. I'm finally in a career. I can do something.
Right.
So I went and I got my implants done, and like Dr. Weiler was saying, they went up under the muscle. And from the jump start, I kind of noticed that they were really far apart. And I was like, well, maybe this will just settle. I have really strong pectoral muscles at that point. I'm working out all the time. So it was like, this will settle. Things will happen. It'll be fine. And that didn't settle. But overall, I wasn't displeased with them. And then
Just weren't overjoyed, right?
Right. I wasn't
Right, you're like,
overjoyed.
"Oh,
It
I
wasn't
got-"
exactly what I wanted,
Right.
but I was happy to have more than what I had.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then over the years, I was like, oh, I think things aren't sitting anywhere near where they were. One of them was really way lower than what the other one was really just unhappy altogether with how they were aging. And so went to see Dr. Weiler. And
How many years later? So
Yeah.
how long?
So I started the journey of let's see what we're going to do. Let's see if am I being dramatic, or is
Yeah.
this really something that I need to address? And so I would say it was about 6 years after. And so about a year ago, I met with Dr. Weiler initially, and then finally had surgery about 6 weeks ago.
It hasn't been 6
Oh.
weeks?
Yes.
So your initial augmentation was saline?
Silicone.
Silicone below
Sick.
the muscle.
That's correct.
Which was the standard,
Right.
Right.
Especially
And-
then.
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
And then, so you had your consult, obviously, with him. What would you say, just like was it her anatomy? Was it a contracture?
So I think you didn't have a contracture, right?
No,
I think,
bottomed out.
yeah, just kind of more bottomed out than anything else. So
What
you
does
had
that mean?
Yeah. What's bottomed out?
So she had a smooth silicone implant below the muscle.
Okay.
Right. And I was not privy. I don't think I ever saw any pictures before you had your implants. We never really.
No.
And so some when you do a below the muscle implant, so your chest implant muscles are really wide when they come in your sternum right here, right, your cleavage area, and they get really skinny when they attach to your arm. And so we are taught as surgeons, so the implant actually sits, let's call it 2/3 below the muscles, right? And some people's muscles are really high compared to their breasts. Some people's breasts are kind of low. Some people's breasts are kind of high compared to the chest muscles. There's really very little correlation. I'll be honest with you. It's kind of weird. And so when we put those implants in, some of us at some point were taught to transect the lower fibers of the muscle to what we call it a dual plane, to elevate the muscle and free the muscle up to decrease the animation deformity. But I do feel like that sometimes leads to what we call bottoming out, because not only are you less weakening the fibers of the muscle, you're also going in and weakening the fibers of the lower breast pole too, right? And you're releasing that. And so what happens is, I think, is that over time, and you didn't have a particularly large implant in place, but over time, the weight of the implant can push through the fibers of the lower breast and muscle and fall lower than your breast almost, right? And so you have a natural breast fold that, all women have. Some women, if you don't have any breast tissue, women, almost everybody has some anatomy of a fold. And so I believe that you really have to preserve the breast fold no matter what. Some surgeons believe you have to lower the breast fold. Some were taught at that point in their career to accommodate a larger implant. I like to make the tissue stretch as opposed to lowering the breast fold. And I've told you that for years.
Okay. I thought that was a double bubble. And the bottoming out was whenever the implant like falls through the incision. No?
They're very, very close.
Okay.
So you can have a double bubble, but you had like maybe a little bit of a remnant of a double bubble.
Right.
Okay.
But she had more like a double bubble is when it's fallen some, but it's stationary, right?
Yeah.
And it's not falling anymore. And you see that natural fold and it gives you that double crease appearance. Then as that progresses, it goes even farther and just continues to fall. When we put them, and some people have really powerful muscles, and Kim does. She's in good shape. When you flex those muscles, it also pushes it out. So it can also lateralize out and down, right? And that is some of the things that we fight or we're fighting with submuscular implants. And I also believe, like we were talking about colors and skin, so fairer patients. Some people's tissues aren't that strong, and That's you.
That's me. I'm fair.
Yeah, and so they do have a little problem supporting it long term. I think also.
I'm gonna need an internal mesh.
Yeah, Kim had one of them had really lateralized, right? Had kind of
very much so, and you could see the incision at the when you were just looking straight.
Right.
Over.
So
really?
Yeah, when it bottoms out, it falls through and it actually pushes that incision out, and you can see it.
Right. I was like, oh wow, I don't actually like that incision
Yeah.
either.
Right.
So definitely wanted him to address that, which he did.
And volume wise, did we go?
We went up
a little bit, right?
Yes, absolutely. So I definitely wanted more cleavage, which I never really got from the implants
because you were just so wide.
I was more lateralized with the implants from when I woke up. So I definitely wanted that. That was something that I stressed and definitely got that with the Motiva round.
Yeah. So we went with.
You went with Motiva round. Ooh, okay. Talk us through that.
So previously, Kim had an Allergan implant, which is a great implant. It was a smooth walled implant, which we still utilize all the time. But I like to put those below the muscle, right? And so someone like Kim, who's got, you are limited when you go below the muscle, how close you can get them to, because we can't dislocate
the muscle.
We can't take your muscles off the chest wall.
Right.
We just don't want to do that. I mean, that's poor form, right? So we don't want to do that. So we are limited to how close. So some ladies have a naturally a little bit of a wider chest, and Kim kind of falls into that category. She's a very strong muscle too. So we had discussed Motiva, which I like to put above the muscle. It's a smooth,
microtexture.
Smooth silk, microtexturing. They are filled 100%, and they come in two different cohesiveness, right? Which is ergo and round, right? Ergo is a very, very softer natural. This gives you an excellent full results, but round gives you a little bit more of that boom, that little up top fullness. It holds its shape a little bit rounder. It's a little bit firmer. They still feel very natural. And we also discussed and did the sling, right?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, we wanted to, so if Kim came in, someone like her, I would tell her two things. One, I think your implants are in a bad position because your muscles have pushed them down. Your tissues aren't that supportive. So there's a problem with, could have been a problem with surgery, could not have been a problem with surgery. I have no way of knowing exactly what was done. The surgeon that did them was totally competent, but we things have evolved and changed.
Yeah.
So I said, number one, let's look at going above the muscle, right? And using the Motivas, because we can get you better cleavage. We can get into a whole new fresh tissue plane, right? We don't have to put them back where they started.
Yeah, not in the other place.
Right.
Get
and then new place. So we can do a fresh plane. We can, everything is new. I can control that pocket. I can get it nice and tight. I can get a better cleavage. And then I think long-term, you're probably going to have some support issues if we don't put that internal bra in, right? So with us, it wasn't like you necessarily it wasn't necessarily a deal breaker, right? Because they do cost a little bit of extra money. But I tell patients, I think it's great for future insurance.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a whole lot better long-term. So let's put in an internal bra. And
Did you use Galaflex?
I did.
Yeah,
Definitely worth the investment. And when I initially got things done at 19, wasn't thinking about the long term.
They were out then, but it wasn't even. Things have changed so much.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No one's thinking about long-term stuff at
No.
19.
Like, not going for dinner tonight. That's what we're doing this weekend.
Right. So hearing
no.
about the Galaflex and just the internal mesh bra, I was like, well, that's a no-brainer. Like, let's just spend a little bit more and get something that's going to last longer.
Right.
Again, and then if I come back.
Yeah.
Do it again. And
you're in that like the 6-week post where you got to do all the right things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully she's.
I have been.
No, she's pretty compliant. And so the question comes is, all right, so when we were below the muscle, we would sew the mesh, right? Whether it's Galaflex, Tiger Mesh, what's the other one? The Durazorb. Yeah, you can Durazorb. Because she can name them for me because we went through them. And there's Ovitech too, which is out there. We'll have to have a whole different conversation.
I know that would be a good.
Yeah, because that has to do with capsular contractures, and have a patient we did that with too, which I think will be excellent. So we used to sew up to the edge of the muscle and then around to the chest wall. And so the question comes up, well, what are you sewing it to, right? Because we're going above the muscle.
Yeah.
So really what we're doing these days is we're wrapping the implant in it. Right, positioning the implant, and then we sew it to the chest wall underneath. It's almost like a cradle, right? And so that cradle is going to hold it,
like to the rib. That was
the
rib.
Yep. And then we, don't want those implants to move for the first 6 to 8 weeks, right? That tissue, right? That
gotta get it to grow.
You gotta get that IV to grow in, right? And so that IV is growing in, and it really fixates in. It's not totally absorbed, and then so that IV, that body holds your tissues, is holding that Galaflex into position, and then after that 6 to 8 week, we're like, hey, now you're normal again. So you don't have to wear a bra 24/7. You can do whatever you feel like. You can engage in impact exercise. And then that ingrowth of that tissue is holding that mesh into position. And I've had patients come in. I like to tell a story. So I had a lady come in just a few weeks ago, and I've been using this mesh for over 10 years. I had a patient come in and had huge implants in place. And she came in and she had got a little bit of sagginess. Her implant had ruptured. So she had kind of a wild child. So I don't know what she was doing.
What's the whole story?
The whole story. So anyway, implant ruptured.
Now I'm going to go midnight ballerina.
And she came in, and I had forgotten that I put mesh in there. Literally, she came in and 800 cc implants. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a disaster, right? And so she took off and did an exam. I was like, wow, she looks amazing, right?
Wow.
So great. And I was like, and I had to go back and look through my records, and I was like, yeah, we put mesh in. And I mean, it held. And she came in, originally she had large implants and looked horrible. We did the mesh with the implant exchange over 10 years ago. It's held beautifully for 10 years. And we had to do an implant exchange.
And it's doing heavy lifting. I mean,
it's doing some because this is a very petite woman with very large breasts. It's very active, in excellent shape. 800 plus cc implants, holding them in perfect position.
Yeah.
And so we went in, and she had a rupture. These were much older implants. So we exchanged the implants out, and we put in even another layer of mesh just to support them for another 20 years. But yeah, I was like shocked, because I was expecting, because the larger implants over time can cause some problems.
Yeah.
But when you put that mesh in there, it's crazy how it just reinforces those tissues. Yeah.
That's wild. Okay. So you
recovery wise compared
You're
19
6
to
weeks
today.
out.
Yeah. How is the recovery?
Great.
How is it compared to your initial?
Completely different.
Completely different.
Because the muscle initially stretching was so painful. Doing this motion, even trying to get out of bed by myself for the first couple of days was almost impossible. Definitely needed help. And I would still say that procedure wasn't a horribly painful recovery, but still much more than this one. I would say the worst part, I could definitely feel the Galaflex.
Yes.
But it wasn't, in comparison, I was up and moving.
When you say feel,
you mean
I was about to say, what do
feel
you
the
mean
tacking
feel?
down,
Right.
where it was tacked down.
Yeah,
to
you
the
can feel the
rib.
pressure.
Yeah.
Of that
Yes,
pull.
I could definitely feel the pressure there. But as far as pain level, very, very minimal. I think I took medicine that first day and the next day, and then I was back to work that following Monday.
Yeah, you came. Yeah, that's
So,
awesome. Okay, what about what you look like right now? So at 6 weeks, you've been in a bra, you've been compliant.
Mm-hmm.
How you feel
I look
fine?
completely different. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I got exactly what I wanted when I woke up. I was like, oh my God,
Yay.
I'm a crier after anesthesia, so it's definitely sobbing.
You were a crier.
Yeah.
I told
we got moaners, we got criers, we got talkers, we got jokesters, we got people joking. It's crazy. It's really fun.
I told the nurses in pre-op, I was like, I'm just letting y'all know. I'm gonna wake up crying. That's just me.
That's fine.
That's gonna happen.
As long as you own it.
Yeah, and I did, and they were like, thank you for preparing.
Yeah, right?
You're just like, it's okay. It's okay.
No, but it was
man.
fantastic, and woke up feeling great. I feel like I haven't had a huge change, and I thought it was, I'm gonna have to get all these new clothes.
Yeah.
It really just looks very natural
Right.
and still looks proportionate to my body, which was important to me.
And you did say that you went with
bigger.
a bigger implant.
Mhm.
What
Okay.
size? What cc?
I went from 420 to 550.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you're taller, curvier lady.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
You hold it well.
That's what I learned that in that episode that we
With
did.
Shannon,
You're
yeah.
like Shannon being so tall,
Yeah.
like, and just like the structure, and you're very tall.
Right.
And it's just like having to do those difference when you say
Proportions.
550.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all about those proportions for
Absolutely.
the individual.
Yeah, it's really crazy with the proportions because it's such a difference in bodies. And I think what makes the world great is different bodies and different shapes.
Mm-hmm.
But from I saw a lady yesterday that was 4'11", right? And then you see a woman that's like literally, I think I don't know, 5'11". I went from a 4'11" woman to a 5'11" woman, and I mean, you talk about just proportions are totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
What would you tell somebody thinking about this?
Go for the consult. It's definitely worth it just to it helps you to feel that you're not crazy because a lot of the times you're thinking, I've done a deep dive on TikTok or I've looked into everything on Reddit or whatever it is.
Right.
And I have psyched myself out about this. It really isn't that bad. I just need to calm down. I think going for the consult and hearing Dr. Weiler say exactly what he said of the malposition and kind of reiterate to me what I knew and felt about my body was so nice to have that
was
from
validating.
a professional.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to know that I wasn't crazy and that there are things that we can do to fix this and to give you what you want. Overall, we can achieve that, and then we did, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You brought up like social media, TikTok, and Reddit. How do you feel that? Was that good or bad? And I think it's a good and a bad. But what was your take on it?
I think good to freak you out.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all can share our anxieties there, which is great to talk about possibilities,
Right.
but it can also lead. I was like, okay, I need to stop looking at this
Right.
immediately because this is too much. Everybody is going to post their horror stories, and you're not going to, when you have a really great result, you're not going to be online. Oh my gosh, everything went perfect.
you're not
Nothing
gonna
went
take time
wrong.
to do it.
I had a
Yep.
great time. Everything was
That's what
you're
we
going off
need
to
to-
the beach. You're not posting
That's
your
exactly.
That's what we
this
need to
is my
start
fault.
normalizing, like normal post-op stories.
Yes, absolutely. So, I mean, I didn't find a lot of them, and the ones that you do find have like no engagement on them because
Right.
that's not
Nobody
what people are
cares,
going
right?
to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think in the beginning, I was like looking for people who had similar issues that I had initially, and I found that, and then they got their revision, they had more issues, and I was like,
Right.
oh God, I don't
Right.
want that either.
Right.
So being educated by the physician and by the staff at Weiler definitely helped.
And
so
being
much.
educated about your physician too, making
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making
your
a smart
research.
decision.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The amount of people who were like, you have to go to Weiler. You have to
Right.
go to Weiler. It was like, okay, let me just see.
Yeah.
And to be transparent, look, revisionary breast surgery can be tough. It is tough. And I'd say, 97, 98% of it works out really, really well. But, there can be some pitfalls. There can be some, and even in the best hands, I'm not talking about myself, but, every surgeon, and you go to these meetings, and this one meeting comes to mind where this guy, he's sort of the guru of BBLs. And he put up there, it's a shame that no one ever talks about complications. I do, a couple hundred a year, and I'm going to give this talk about what has happened to me with the worst thing. So, I think even if things go wrong and you're with a good, board certified, reputable surgeon, they're going to see it to the end and hopefully correct and fix problems. But, I'd say, 97% of the time, things go very smoothly. And as we get more and more tools as a surgeon to do these things are getting better and better.
Yeah.
I think, I think these newer implants has given us a new tool to make revisionary breast surgery even better and easier than it was.
Yeah.
So it's been a great couple of months for me.
Well, the evolution of the industry.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
I mean, and both, we are sponsored by both Weiler and Rejuvime. Both industries are progressing.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. I say we're in a true heyday. Like, I think the next 5 years is going to be like, hold on.
Yep.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be fun.
So good.
Okay. Is there anything else, that we didn't touch on, or I feel like we covered it?
I would say definitely get in for the consult. Definitely look into your surgeon, not just on social media, but make sure that they're a board certified plastic surgeon, that you know what you're getting into and that you feel comfortable there and they treat you like family, which I automatically felt like when I walked in.
Yeah.
Everyone was so kind, so caring, from front desk all the way to checkout. So I think all of that plays a huge role into feeling comfortable about your recovery and about your procedure.
Let me ask this,
Yeah.
since you did go up a little bit, talk about your thought with your implants. That makes sense, like your second time around.
I definitely thought, as far as going into the procedure, I was going to be in more pain
No, just
than
in
it was.
terms of size. Like,
Oh,
what made you,
goodness.
does that make sense?
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
I
What
think
made you go up?
You had a second opportunity. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
to say,
absolutely.
Hey,
I
Go bigger, go home,
I wanted
or-
to go
That's
bigger
it.
initially, and I was super, super small previously. So
Right.
it was as large as you
As
could
you
go. I
wanted
could
to
go
go.
Yeah.
previously.
So you kinda-
So I was like, if I'm going to do this again, I'm going to get everything that I want out of
Very
this,
good.
which is a little bit more of everything from every direction, and that's what exactly
As you
I got.
should.
Yeah. So you kind of fulfilled what you originally wanted.
Absolutely.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah. I think this procedure gave me what I wanted at 19,
Right.
Yeah.
at 27.
Yeah.
But
Still so young.
So young.
And fabulous. Hello.
I still feel like, you
You're,
said you did
you're-
it.
You still feel like you're 18? Oh, me too.
Yeah, yeah, girl. Especially this morning. No, I feel like there was like a lot of implants that were so separated. Like, just like going back, it's just in mainstream media. I feel like girls that were getting implants, they had like a whole bunch of like space in between.
Not in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Okay.
Not. I didn't say. I
a
said
whole nother
mainstream
topic.
media. I know. I'm like, but then her, I was like, you just get them together.
So good.
Get them together.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kim, so much for
Thanks
joining
for
us, and
having
thanks for
me.
sharing your story and everything, and your experience and and just from every aspect of it, which is great to hear from patients that share that. Make sure everyone is following us on all of the platforms. The TikTok, aren't we on TikTok?
YouTube,
Yes,
Spotify,
TikTok, YouTube,
Apple
Spotify,
Podcasts, Amazon.
Subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast.
Yep.
Remember to always stay curious, to always stay informed, and to remember, always consult before you cut. We'll see you guys next week.